All right, my name is Michelle Rehill. I am the chairperson of the Northborough Library Trustees, and I call this meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. I will begin by reading the governor's proclamation, or sorry, whatever this thing is. This open meeting of the Library Board of Trustees is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of June 16th, 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. All members of the Library Board of Trustees are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows the Library Board of Trustees to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative for attendance purposes. Mitch Cohen.
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Mary Crowley is not with us. Jim Hogan.
Jim Hogan, aye.
Nita Karanjkar.
Nita Karanjkar, aye.
Charles Recchia.
Charles Recchia, aye.
Joan Scott.
Joan Scott, aye.
Richard Tucker.
Richard Tucker, aye.
Michelle Rehill, that would be me. I am here. Also present, Jen Bruno.
Sorry, aye.
And Deborah Hirsch.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Took my attendance. I read my executive order. As part of my opening remarks, I do not want to say, but I'm going to say that Hamilton Soriano has resigned from the board after some time looking for a home and attempting repeatedly to buy a house in Northborough. He ended up by getting a house outside of the town of Northborough. So because he is no longer a resident, he needed to leave. And I'm very sorry that, sorry to lose him. I think he was a valuable member of the committee. So that being said, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the July 13th meeting?
Were they sent out?
Yes, I didn't see any minutes.
Ooh. You know what? Now that you say that, I had a copy of it because Jim sent it in, but you're right, it was not in the packet. I just realized I picked it up off.
I'm sure they're delightful, but it's probably best to table them to the next meeting then.
We shall approve them at the next meeting. Making a note. All right, moving along. The FY21 appropriations report. Are there any questions or comments about that? Nothing.
I have a question, but it's not actually about the appropriations report. Just wondered how things were resolved with the HVAC problem that required the library to close.
So it's sort of still ongoing. They've been able to come up with sort of a workaround temporarily. They know what the issue is. It's just a matter of, in order to permanently fix it, they do need to take the system offline for a few days. And they didn't want to do it while it was still summer. So when they come to switch it to heat later in the fall, which will probably be, just a couple of weeks from now, they'll take it down and do the permanent fix. But for now, it seems like the temporary workaround is sufficient. At least it hasn't shut off since It's been 2 or 3 weeks. So the good news is we have the part.
That's good.
So I assume that'll be reflected then in future appropriations reports, spending on that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yes, he has not billed us for that part yet. Yep. So that will be
Okay.
probably reflected in November.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions or comments related to the financial report? I mean, the appropriations report? If not, we will move on to the library director's report. Are there any things in there, Jen, that you would like to point out or expand on?
Not that I can think of offhand, but if anybody has any questions or wants to know more about anything, happy to speak to it.
Got a question or two. The phone system, is that the new townwide phone system that was discussed a while back? Great.
Yep.
Okay. That's good to hear. I didn't see anything about Apple Fest. Are we still having a booth at the street fair?
I think just the book sale.
Just the book sale. Okay.
Great. Oh, did you see my deer in the headlight look when you said Apple, the booth? I didn't think about that.
Last I had heard, I thought we were having a booth, but maybe next year. I know it's a lot of work to put together.
Yeah, but we are definitely having a book.
Yep.
sale.
Yep.
Friends are definitely having a book sale. Thank you, friends. All right, if there aren't any other questions about the library director's report? Going once, twice. So moving on to some new business. Because as I mentioned earlier, Hamilton Soriano has left the board. That leaves us without a treasurer. And as the chairperson, it's my job to appoint a replacement. And I did check and have conversations first before I did anything. But Joan Scott will be the new treasurer for the remainder of this, the board's fiscal year, I guess, our calendar. So I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to Kate, Joan. You said you were going to, but just to make sure.
I have not yet, no.
Okay, all right. So Kate, you can expect company soon. All right. So congratulations, by the way, on your new appointment.
Thank you.
Right, and now the big thing that we really do need to talk about tonight, the strategic plan. So Jim, would you like to take over from here?
Okay, well, I think everybody's had a chance to take a look at the strategic plan for 2023 to 2026. And the Long Range Planning Committee has met, has talked about the plan, and is in agreement that the plan is an excellent plan. And we took a vote. We had a motion and we took a vote on it. And our vote was to move the plan on to the full board with our full support and recommendation that the full board approve it. In fact, approve it enthusiastically, and that we move it on to the MPLC along with a letter from the board, which I am drafting, which would express the full support of the board for the plan. We think it's an excellent plan, and we're very happy with it. So I guess what I would say at this point is I would ask for a motion to move the plan onto the full board. Since it has the full support of the Long Range Planning Committee.
So at this point, is really are we looking, like, we've presented the plan to the board. Are we looking to have a vote? Like a vote to, a motion to, yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying, are we having a motion now to vote in favor of the strategic plan as presented?
I think that's a good idea, although once we have a motion, we certainly can have discussion. So if anyone has anything.
I'll make a motion to approve the strategic plan as presented.
Thank you.
Is
We have
there
a second.
I second.
second?
I second that.
Thank you.
I second it.
Thank Nita, thank you. All right, discussion. Are there any questions or comments from the rest of the board about the strategic plan as it's been presented to you? So
Honestly, my favorite part is the strategic goals page, which has the bullets really, really large, which I think shows that they are the goals. It provides something hopefully to put on the wall or some electronic form.
I worked really, really hard to get it onto one page and with few enough words that I could print it on a poster and put it in the library.
Excellent.
From a staff perspective, it's also very motivating to look at that and say, these are the things that you need to think about. And they're clear, they're concise, they're doable. It's very motivating. So I really like what we've come up with.
And I'll just add that, as you'll see in the letter that I'm drafting, is that I really like the concept that Jen and her staff are going to be making this a live, organic, living document that they're going to be looking at constantly over the next several years and using it as a real roadmap for moving forward. I really like that as a concept. I think so often people create a strategic plan, submit it, throw it in the drawer and forget about it. But this one's going to be a real living plan that we're going to be looking at and amending when we have to. And the other thing I like about it is we are going to be focusing on information literacy education as we move forward. And we all know that this nation certainly needs a great deal of information literacy help because we're in tough shape in terms of the way people view information from the internet. So I really like the plan and I'm very happy with the contents and the way it's being presented.
The thing that I liked about it was that you chose to go with that shorter 3-year time frame because it is such a time of uncertainty, and having a shorter time frame to deal with it gives us more flexibility for how we progress, and picking it up in years 4 and 5, and, moving forward at that point. So if there are any other questions or comments. If there are not, then we will move to the vote to approve the strategic plan for FY 2023 through 2026 as presented to the trustees and for submission to the Mass Board of Library Commissioners. All those in favor, please say aye. We'll do it by roll call. Mitch Cohen.
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Jim Hogan.
Jim Hogan, aye.
Nita Karanskar.
Aye.
Charles Recchia.
Charles Recchia, aye.
Joan Scott,
Joan Scott, aye.
Richard Tucker,
Richard Tucker, aye.
and Michelle Rehill also says aye. The motion carries in the affirmative and passes unanimously. Again, I want to thank the staff for the hard work. Thank you, Long Range Planning Committee members, for getting us together to do this. And let's remember, now we have to start working on the, is it the action plan? That's the next step. So Jim, get your calendar going, get us together, keep us rolling.
I'm going to be talking to Jen tomorrow and start the conversation going on that process. So yeah, we will do it.
All right, thank you very much. Is there any other business that may come before the board at this time?
I have a couple of questions. I think when we last met, I guess that was July. I thought it was announced that at this meeting, we hear the name of a new trustee.
Oh,
Jocelyn.
we did get a new trustee, Mary Crowley. I'm having this horrible vision in my brain that it's possible that she may think that we still meet at 7:30, as we did for so many years, and it's still posted in someplace, like in our old bylaws and things. It still says 7:30, so she might try to pop in here after we conclude the meeting. But it was Mary Crowley. And again, since Hamilton has resigned from the board, we will be looking for another trustee. So we will go through the process all over again very soon.
If I can ask another question. I seem to remember, and I may be wrong, correct me if I am, but I thought that we had a little tradition of at the opening of each year in the fall, sometime, starting a meeting a half hour early and having a little coffee and goodies for the staff. And I guess we missed it last year because it was Zoom. But I'm wondering if maybe we could plan something for the staff. You know, a meet and greet and a little thank you to the staff at the next meeting or a meeting after.
Or
The other thing is, if I remember correctly, the last one I think I attended, to one of my questions, it was responded that Michelle paid for the entire thing herself. Is that right, Michelle?
that is correct.
That's up, and I don't think that's right. So I think if we do have a little meet and greet, we should all chip in our proportionate share by the trustees.
Well, I would appreciate that. I guess my only concern right now is how comfortable people feel. Because I have the same thing. I was a little bit sad that we missed doing it last year, but of course the library was closed. I just don't know how comfortable people are at this point, not only having an in-person meeting, but having it be a meeting where we would potentially be eating together. And I think that because the municipal buildings have gone back to requiring masks in the buildings, I think it might be difficult at this point.
That's understandable. I just wanted to raise that.
Okay, well, if we could think of a way to do it where maybe not as part of the meeting, but something informal, we can consider that. If somebody has a really good idea, that would be great. Or we could just promise that we'll do it in the spring when this executive order expires and we have to go back to meeting in person. We can do that sort of a, hey, remember us? We used to be here all the time. And hey, nice to see you all again, staff. But again, if someone can think of something that would work now, I would certainly welcome that, but we can talk about that offline as not an official item of business, unless you want it to be on the agenda or have it be part of an official meeting. But thank you, Richard, for bringing that up and for remembering.
I actually like, and again, yeah, thank you, Richard. That a good point. And I think what we're talking about here is thanking the staff for all that they've done during this difficult time. So maybe there's something we can do that wouldn't be just I agree with Michelle in terms of probably not a good idea to have an eating event inside. But maybe there's something else we could do to send a message to the staff that would express our appreciation and thanks for all that they've done. So maybe we could just think about that over the next few days and maybe get back to Michelle with many of our thoughts.
That'd be great. I would be happy to get those comments, suggestions, something that we can do. Are there any other comments or questions, any other business to come before the board at this time? If not, the date of the next meeting will be October 12th, 2021. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Charles. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Joan. All right, by roll call, all those in favor of adjourning the meeting at 7:27 PM. Mitch Cohen,
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Jim Hogan,
Jim Hogan, aye.
Nita Karanjkar,
Nita Karanjkar, aye.
Charles Recchia,
Charles Recchia, aye.
Joan Scott,
Joan Scott, aye.
Richard Tucker,
Richard Tucker, aye.
and Michelle Rehill also says aye. The motion carries in the affirmative, unanimous. The meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah, everyone.
Night, everyone.
See you guys next month.
See ya.
See you all
Bye.
later. Good seeing everybody. Bye-bye.
Oops, I'm looking for the wrong button. You might think I haven't done a meeting in a while. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.